Welcome to the channel. Thank you everyone for tuning in. On today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys a bit of a showcase review rather than a full review. This is one of the brand new releases from Pagani Design. And you recognize this watch, it's very popular. It's actually not a new watch, it's just one of the newer color options. So I got this watch from the Pagani Design flagship AliExpress store. I mean, there's numerous ones of them. I'll link the store within the description. And I thought it was interesting because it was a new colorway. Now, this in fact is one of Pagani Design's longest standing models. And I actually reviewed this watch in the very early, very amateur days of my channel. And that was in fact 3 years ago on the 28th of January 2020. So this does go quite a while back, and they've managed to keep this watch going for all that time. And I think that's absolutely incredible. Back then, this watch would have cost you £55, albeit with the black and white colorway or the full black colorway. This one with this chocolate bezel and this supposed to be ice blue dial is around £75. So I'll say the Chinese have done well holding off on all this inflation that we're seeing around us, still giving us a very incredible value for money watch. Now, this watch in terms of specs, dimensions, I'm not going to bother going into them. Simply put them on screen, as you guys definitely know what this watch is, and this has been reviewed to death over the time, obviously 3 years. So I'm going to give you guys a good close-up of the dial, an overview of some of the smaller features on the dial, and if I can catch any improvements to any QC that they've done. In terms of finishing, has that gone any better? But it's going to be a bit tough because I'm going back about 3 years since I last looked at one of these. So one of the good things about this watch is the fact that it uses a very robust movement. Seiko VK63 Mecha Quartz movement. You can't go wrong, guys. Honestly, this watch runs for absolutely ages. Easy to service, replace the battery and whatnot, and it maintains a very accurate time. So it's no wonder that they've kept this watch going for such a long time. And you can do this with this model because you've got endless color options. Even more so than the original, obviously. Pagani Design have just done so many like coated ones as well, gold, silver, I don't know, just loads of models and different designs. And I think this is nice, and I'm surprised they never done this model kind of back in the day. They didn't really explore this colorway. Now, I said so-called ice blue. That's because this dial isn't fully ice blue. It's actually got a lot more green in it. Now, I've got to mess with my ISO settings to show you this. That is probably a better indication of what color it is. It's not a very cold ice blue, not a very cold blue, which I think it needed to be to match that chocolate bezel. So it's just got a bit of a green tinge in there, but it doesn't look awful. But it's just worth mentioning in case you guys think it is that sort of ice blue color that you see. Now, it's actually a little closer to this Parnis that I have, and I bought this around the same time, and I've kept this for well over 3 years. No battery change. You can see it's still ticking away, and the reason I kept it is because I wasn't a fan of that chocolate bezel, and I liked the black bezel with this sort of mint green dial. The only thing I did from Parnis was actually replace the clasp, because they've still got this awful hideous clasp on there. And one thing I rate about Pagani Design is that they do a very good job on the majority of their dials. Considering they're so cheap, the dial construction is ace. Applied hour markers. You also got this silver outline around each sub-dial as well. The sub-dial color is the same as the bezel, so that's a really nice touch. So a lot of these small polish features gives it a really nice touch when the light kind of reflects off the dial. You've got a beautiful Sunray pattern as well. Printing is clean and crisp. You've got a touch of red where it says sport, and it's okay. The only thing with this is that there is a date window at around the 5 p.m. mark, and I know the Parnis came without a date window, but the date just gives you added functionality, and it doesn't really get in the way. That's why it's been put here on this side. The ceramic bezel is nicely finished, very nice clean white printing there, very crisp markers. So I mean, as far as this watch goes from Pagani Design, there's barely any QC issues on these. They've just built them so well, which is why they're so popular. You get all the premium specifications. The crown, pushers, they all screw down. I think this watch only gives you 100 meters of water resistance though. And of course, you've got your Pagani Design logos, etc. on the case back, as well as the model number. Now, with regards to the rest of the watch, I don't think much has changed. Polished sides. I've left the sticker on because I'm not wearing any gloves, guys, and it is an absolute smudge magnet. And they've also got this brushed and polished bracelet. Now, I'm not too sure going so far back as 3 years ago, but in hand I think this bracelet is quite a bit better. I can see a slight difference in the level of brushing. I think it does look a lot better, but again, that was 3 years ago, guys, so I could be just making it up, and I don't want to be doing that. But it looks nice taper from 20mm down to 16mm. It's got the traditional clasp that they use. Micro adjustments on this clasp are very difficult. It's very awkward to kind of get in there, so they might as well not exist. But you do have, fair bit of links on the Pagani Design do give a lot of links. They do accommodate a lot of larger wrist sizes. So all in all, I think it's a great color choice. Just bear in mind that it's not that cold ice blue that you're looking for. It's got a way more green in there, so it does kind of look a bit minty, so a bit like an After Eight combination of chocolate and mint. Well, the loom isn't great, but it isn't all that bad as well, considering how thin those markers are, and the minute amounts of loom applied. It will glow slightly, obviously, but it'll be nothing significant. And on wrist, the PD1644 sits superbly. Compact lug to lug, diameter is bang on for a sports watch, and it's got a really good fit. The bracelet is comfortable, clasp works. I mean, it's a perfect size for this 6.5-inch wrist, and I think that's the beauty with these specifications or this style of watch, because it's just so versatile. It can fit just a range of wrists, and obviously outfits or whatever. And yeah, it's a good color option, and it's about time they came out with this. I mean, there's nothing more to add. You guys have seen this watch being reviewed everywhere, so it was more for just this new colorway, showcasing it, letting you guys know what I think. And I think it definitely does work. It's definitely one to add to your collection. If you don't have one of these, there's no reason to wait. Go ahead and get yourself one. A very good watch from Pagani Design. In fact, I'd say it's probably the best watch, and they have made a few great watches, but I think in comparison to everything else, there's hardly any negatives with this one. It just works so well. So that's it for me today, guys. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.